on in the third period and maybe half the second, you certainly did generate a lot of chances. It seemed like a lot were high, wide, or whatever. Were you happy at least with what you generated?
We had a little push. They defended their front of their net very well, but we did have a push late, but obviously it wasn't enough, so it's still disappointing. So it wasn't good enough.
You must be looking at Becca's performance, especially after the layoff and
Yeah,
everything.
UPL looked good. He looked comfortable. I thought we helped him out a bit more than we had been typically, or lately, I should say, and it was nice to see him feel good and look good. But no support on the scoring end, which obviously was the difference and made it tough.
What do you think about the first 40 minutes of that? It just seemed like you guys weren't moving. It was a different team in the third period. For sure.
It did. Absolutely. So what do I think about the first 40 minutes? We looked a little lethargic, and you can only guess why, and we're going to try to figure that out ourselves on the coaching side, because we just didn't look or play with the pace. Didn't look like ourselves. Didn't play with the pace that we typically do, and certainly intended to do.
Given those circumstances, would you have liked to see that? I mean, your guys just make it more difficult on them, especially whether it be dumping the puck.
Definitely.
And
Definitely.
the second game was back-to-back.
Definitely, yeah. Didn't feel we played with that, a fearlessness that we had and have been, and we felt like we were holding back a little bit, conservative maybe, and we just never got into any rhythm at all.
Any update on Casey?
No update. I'd like to be optimistic about it. It could. It's not a re-injury of what he had, from what I understand at this point. So we'll know more in the morning. But we're hopeful that, knowing it wasn't a re-injury, that it'll be something short.
Encouraged by that Bill, that third power play, the second one in the third period, where you guys had more puck movement.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's tough to feel encouraged, but you had a game, it was tight, it was close. We just needed to find a way to get one, and we didn't. So it's tough to look past that right now.
Did you feel this was what you spoke about earlier this morning when you talked to us, when you said,
Yeah.
if you concentrate really hard on defense, you might lose some of the offense? Is that what we saw?
I don't want to say that in the sense, I just want to think about it. You want to reflect after the game, and I don't want to, but that runs through my mind and through your mind, but it's tough to stand here and say that, and it's like you're making an excuse for not doing it, and it just doesn't feel good. So we didn't play with the energy and the passion, and I want to just that would be the focus. We need to play with that.
Coach, you spoke on scoring support. Since November 1st, the Sabres have lost 5 games when they've scored 4 goals. And with the performance you've seen Pekka give tonight, how likely is it that we will see more of Pekka in the near future as the netminder?
Yeah, I think with Pekka, he's still a guy that is definitely in a developmental category and capacity. So, whether it's best here or in Rochester, we're going to take that day by day and evaluate that day by day. But we want to make sure he keeps progressing. There was an opportunity tonight for him to jump in the net here. There may be our next game out, but we'll continue to read that day by day, knowing he's a young guy. He still has to gain a lot of experience, and it was good he gained some tonight.
Your eyes might have been playing tricks on you when you saw the Sabres go live. I assume you looked at it.
Yeah.
What was your reaction seeing what actually happened?
Didn't like it. I'll leave it at that. But
It's got the front of the net's got to be covered more than that play.
yeah, there were errors before that play that I really didn't like. Up ice in the entry. Didn't like it. Should never got to that point. And it's a difficult, the smart player used the back of the net, and an aerial over the back, and that's something that you don't see very often. But there were plays prior to that led to that were really things you could have eliminated it before it ever happened, and those are a concern, or were the concern on that goal the biggest.
And you mentioned that they defended the middle pretty well. You had a really extraordinarily high number of blocked shots and missed shots, though. Was it mostly how they defended, or did you feel that was...
Combination. I felt we could have created a better shooting lane, maybe released the puck quicker before they got into a shooting lane. So a combination, a credit to them. They have some very good defensemen that are very intelligent defensemen, and they're experienced. And they played well, but on our side, there were certainly things we could have done better, and we didn't. And again, we need to get more shots through, and release them quicker, or prep them better. And tonight it cost us.
And with the power play, do you sense that there is a reluctance to get the puck to the middle, right in the hash marks, below the hash marks? I know you moved it well in the third, but it still seemed like there was a little bit of a reluctance to get there.
In the middle to the bumper, are we talking? Or yeah, you know what, Brian? I have to look at it and go through it before I commit to any one thing on it. The last few games, especially since Mitzi's been back, that unit has generated a lot of chances. So you can either ride it out or you can start changing things, but they've generated chances. So, but tonight I'll look at it. I don't want to commit to one thing, because you want to see it in entirety before you make too many comments on it.
Coach, gotta ask a question, not to pick on anyone, but Rasmus Dahlin has seemed a little passive lately.
Yeah, he didn't make plays he normally does tonight. He didn't look like himself in that regard. He struggled to make some plays that are usually really simple for him. We just said the power play, even there. I'm going to look through it and see what I feel after a second review. But he was one of the guys of many that I felt didn't look like themselves, didn't play with the energy that they normally do.